When the woman woke up, she noticed something abnormal. In the scorching summer heat, snow had suddenly begun to fall miraculous sight. Just as the couple was puzzled by this phenomenon, their friend suddenly returned from outside. The woman was about to ask what was happening when she was horrified by what she saw. Her friend was covered in dust from head to toe, with blood streaming from both ears. Before she could speak, her friend collapsed to the ground. The couple immediately rushed her to the hospital for emergency treatment. While waiting outside the hospital room, the husband noticed something alarming. The hospital was flooded with patients, all showing the same symptoms as their friend, bleeding from the ears. Da Zhuang seemed to connect the dots and urgently pressed his wife to return home immediately. But with their friends still in critical condition, the woman refused to leave the hospital. The husband had no choice but to voice his concerns. All the injured were women. Realizing the gravity of the situation, his wife hurried home with him. On the way, they purchased multiple sets of protective gear. Once home, they sealed all windows tightly with plastic sheeting and thoroughly disinfected the entire house. To protect his wife's safety, he installed additional barriers in her room. Only after completing all protective measures did the husband feel comfortable letting her rest inside. Although they didn't understand the exact situation, they needed to take precautionary measures. The next day, she found that her husband hadn't slept all night. He had cleaned the entire living room again and had gone to the store early to stockpile large quantities of food. She was about to criticize her husband for being overly anxious when her phone suddenly rang. Upon answering, she discovered it was an official automated message requiring all women to remain at home. Only then did she realize how serious the situation had become. At the same time, television stations broadcast emergency news reports. The cause was the uncontrolled discharge of industrial wastewater, which had led to a global virus that infected only women. From that point on, she was trapped at home, unable to go outside. She had initially hoped that scientists would find a cure and life would return to normal, but after a month passed, not only was there no progress, but the number of women dying continued to increase. To strengthen protection for his wife, her husband went to a gun store and was forced to buy a handgun for self-defense. One day, her father suddenly initiated a video call, but her husband repeatedly reminded her to stay silent. Communication devices were under surveillance, and once healthy women were discovered, they would be forcibly taken away and detained for the purpose of forced breeding. After she agreed, her husband handed her the phone while covering the camera. But when she connected the video call, her father explained the situation. When people were searching homes, they had discovered her uninfected mother, and despite her advanced age, she too had been forcibly taken away and imprisoned. Seeing her father's despair, she couldn't help but speak up to comfort him. Upon witnessing this, her husband immediately snatched the phone and ended the call. He absolutely refused to let his wife be discovered and captured. But at this moment, her mental state was nearing the breaking point. She had already spent a full year in a dark room, and now even the right to comfort her father had been stripped away. She accused her husband of restricting her freedom like she was a criminal, while he insisted that everything he did was out of love and protection for her. The couple had a fierce argument over this. She even picked up the gun from the table, forcing her husband to leave the room. The husband had no choice but to temporarily exit the room.